Hello, BookTube. We're resuming my library tour for 2024. We have reached bookcase number 3. We have a lot of bookcases to go. A lot of them. But we're on bookcase number 3, and we are starting down in the depths. We will work our way up to the peak. The peak is not quite as high as it was with bookcase number 2, but we'll see what we do with it. And once again, I'm hoping that we get through chunks of the tour relatively quickly because of grouped books. So let's start with subsection A. Okay, and with subsection A, we right away start off wrong. This is Alyssa Cole. This is part of a Reluctant Royals series, a Duke by default. And I'm not saying this is wrong. I love Alyssa Cole's novels. I really do. I think you would too. As a newcomer to romance, I think a newcomer to romance would like these books. But there's a whole bookcase for romances over there. This does not belong here, so that just needs to be put aside. Okay, then this next one, this is really good, but it doesn't belong here either, because this is biography. This is A.J.P. Taylor's biography of Otto von Bismarck. Also really, really good. Bismarck has not lacked for biographies, but this one is terrifically readable, as was everything that A.J.P. Taylor wrote. Okay, then we have a block. We have a block of The Adventures of Red Sonja, a character from Robert E. Howard's Hyperorian Age, but not from Robert E. Howard. He came up with the name Red Sonja, and he came up with the idea of a female swordswoman, but he didn't put the two together, and he didn't create this character, and he most of all did not imagine a chainmail bikini. All of those were the creations of the writer Roy Thomas. But nevertheless, Red Sonja took off as a character in the comics and also on the big screen. And she got her own series of books, novels. And I found the whole batch of them at the Brattle Bookshop and just grabbed them belatedly. I saw them and left them, tempting fate. But then I went back and grabbed them because I'm never going to see this whole set again. So the first one is The Ring of Ikribu. That is Red Sonja in her famous chainmail bikini. Then number 2 is Demon Knight. These all have gorgeous Boris Vallejo covers. Then the next one is When Hell Laughs. There's Red Sonja fighting 2 brigands. Red Sonja, of course, being the equal of any man in combat in the Hyperorian Age. Unlike Conan, her friend, she isn't the equal of any man in combat because of surpassing brawn or Cimmerian strength and speed or whatnot, but because she made a bargain with a goddess. She has quite a bit of strength and speed and swordsman skill herself, but she's also just enchanted. I don't know how much, I don't remember off the top of my head from these novels how much that gets any play. Then we have number 4. This is Endithor's daughter. Red Sonja in a contemplative moment. We have number 5, Against the Prince of Hell. Is that actually Boris Vallejo? Yes, it is. Okay. And then number 6, Star of Doom, classic sword and sorcery cover there, where she's facing off against the sorcerer. So I found the whole block of Red Sonja novels. I don't think there were any others. I don't think there have been any since. I don't know what you would have to do. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe one of you Robert E. Howard fans. I should ask Mike Vaughn if he knows what would you need to do if you wanted to write a Red Sonja novel today. Roy Thomas is still alive. Would you have to go to his literary estate? Would you have to get his permission? I don't think you would need Marvel's permission or whoever is running the Robert E. Howard shop these days, because the Red Sonja is currently being published and not by the people who published Conan. I don't know. I don't know why the thought would ever cross your mind to do that, but I now have these things, and I don't know whether or not they apply to Cimmerian September, an inaugural BookTube event coming up later this year, which is all about Conan. It's all about. I don't know if reading them would work in that event. Okay, then we have this is a mass market of Hammond Innes' book Levkas Man. In perfect condition. You'd never know that this was made 60 years ago. We have Ben Bova's mass market paperback Test of Fire, Chaykin cover there for science fiction. We have Conan himself. This is Conan the Warrior. Part of this old series of Conan novels brought out by Lynn Carter and Elsbreg de Camp. This was with a great Frank Frazetta cover. Okay, we have Conan the Barbarian, a selection of Conan stories with a still from the movie on the cover there. There's Jason Momoa as Conan. The movie was not a transcendent hit. It did not spawn a decade of great Conan movies as I hoped that it would. I think the movie is quite good. Easily the best on-screen adaptation of Conan that's ever been done. And when I realized how faithful it was and what potential it had. I mean, it's not a great movie, but I thought surely this is good enough to remind or introduce Hollywood viewers to the fact that they love Conan, and that will be enough to produce a franchise. I had dreams of Jason Momoa growing old playing Conan. I had dreams of seeing a movie version of The Tower of the Elephant. But no. No. Okay, then we have Donald Walheim, mass market paperback. This is his annual World's Best Science Fiction. I wish I had all of these. They were all done in these, appropriately enough, these DAW yellow spine mass market paperbacks. That's what DAW stands for. It's Donald Walheim. And this is for 1977. Terrific. A terrific science fiction cover there. You'd slip right by it because he doesn't have anything really outstanding on it. But quadruple suns and a rover. That's pretty good. And this says, well, actually, if you're going to talk about an anthology on the screen, you have to tell who's in it, right? We have The Appearance of Life by Brian Aldiss. Overdrawn at the Memory Bank by John Varley. Those Good Old Days of Liquid Fuel by Michael Coney. The Hartford Manuscript by Richard Cowper. National Advantage by Lester Del Rey. The Bicentennial Man by Isaac Asimov. The Cabinet of Oliver Naylor by Barrington Bailey. My Boat by Joanna Russ. Houston, Houston, Do You Read by James Tiptree. And I See You by Damon Knight. Not all of which I've read, so good to have it. Okay, then we have another Arthur C. Clarke. This is I think I said in Bookcase 2 that I only had one Arthur C. Clarke, but I think I was wrong about that. I think I have this and one other. This is The Winds from the Sun. Just a battered old mass market paperback that I think will stand up. I think this will take a read for another BookTube event, Rocket Summer, because this originally came out in 1963. So 1970 is our cutoff for Rocket Summer, so I think that will work. Okay, then we have the science fiction writer Poul Anderson did a Conan story, Conan the Rebel, here in this old Bantam series with a somewhat weird cover, right? That is a somewhat weird cover. Conan doesn't wear a crown or anything on his head, but still. And then we have a block. Good. So let's get us through this relatively quickly. Do we have all of these? Yes, we do. All right. So this is another block of 6. These old Bantam Conan adventures. Before Conan had a little bit of a cottage industry as a paperback star a long time ago, and before that cottage industry really took off, there were these from Bantam. There was Conan the Swordsman by Elsbreg de Camp and Lynn Carter. Yes, why? Yes, Elsbreg de Camp and Lynn Carter, and these old Bantams had these fold-out posters, which at the time they added barely anything to the manufacturing cost of the paperbacks. Now they would quadruple it, and these were numbered as well, which didn't happen once Conan took off. So you have number 1, then you have Conan the Liberator, and that is number 2. Here we have not much of an extra poster, just a tiny bit of one character there. Let's see here. Then number 3, This is by Andrew Offutt. It's absolutely terrific. You wouldn't believe it. You might think, those of you who are, for instance, literary snobs, might think that Conan pastiche novels are all exactly the same. That's not true. There have been a huge number of them, over 100, and some are much better than others. It doesn't always depend on the author either. It sometimes depends on how good a story they have. But this is Conan and the Sword of Skelos. And here, this is by Andrew Offutt, and we have a mountain that we get for our whole poster. No idea if these posters were ever actually made as posters. That would be kind of fun to know. But the Sword of Skelos is quite enjoyable. Then we have Karl Edward Wagner, another terrific sword and sorcery author. This is Conan and the Road of Kings. This is number 4. And Conan is rescuing a young maiden, and he is all prepared for battle, but he looks a little worried, and you would be too, because he's facing an iron giant that doesn't look human at all. It doesn't look like it's going to be vulnerable to his sword. Then we have Conan number 5. This is Elsbreg de Camp. This is Conan and the Spider God. Those of you who have a thing for spiders are going to think they're all about that size. But this one does not have a poster. This does not have a poster. It does not fold out. This is still numbered on the spine, but already you notice that it doesn't have a poster, and unlike a lot of them, it doesn't have a banner across the top. And then we go on to number 6, which is again Conan the Rebel by Anderson. This is a different cover, and this is a fold out. This does have a poster there. And after this, these stop. Not the Conan novels, but the numbered ones with the identical iconography there, the identical branding, and the elaborate cover art. Those stop and go on to become just monthly Conan novels. Like here we have Roland Green, Conan and the Gods of the Mountain. No fold-out poster, no number, no nothing. Here we have Leonard Carpenter, Conan the Hero. And I admit, some of these are absolutely as derivative in one note as their own cover illustrations would lead you to believe, but some of them are. Some of them are. We'll be getting to that in Sumerian September. Then we have Conan the Formidable by Steve Berry. Facing a multi-armed monster. Never slowed John Carter down. Let's see here. I think the rest of this is, here is Conan the Warrior. Again, yes, because we've already had Conan the Warrior. It's not, this is a double. This is just a double of Conan the Warrior. So I have 2 of those. Let me grab this other one. Make sure that they are together. All doubles should be together. And actually, Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Rebel, those can go down there. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, Conan of the Isles, Elsbreg de Camp and Lynn Carter. No Robert E. Howard involved at all. Let's see here. Conan the Buccaneer, Elsbreg de Camp, Lynn Carter with the full Frank Frazetta cover just reprinted there. You've still got the barcode, but you've got a little bit more of it to look at there. Always great to see. And finally, for this subsection, boy, this isn't the only Conan. There's more Conan here. I'll have to. Well, that's what the whole point of this is that eventually I will have it all free to put together. Boy, there's a lot more Conan out there somewhere. But this is Conan of Aquilonia by Elsbreg de Camp. And somebody put a plastic covering on this, no idea why. Makes it a little bit difficult to see. This is a Boris Vallejo cover, not a Frank Frazetta cover. And that little tyke there with the spear is Prince Khan. One of the 2 little tykes who has the decidedly lamentable fate of being Conan the Barbarian's son. Still good stuff. By this point, any pretext that this isn't just pastiche fiction had been abandoned. Instead, you're just getting stories that Robert E. Howard never imagined. But there you go. So that's a block of Conan, a block of Red Sonja, and then a bunch of science fiction and a couple of mysteries. So that is subsection A of bookshelf 1 of bookcase 3. As we slowly inch our way forward. We still have a huge number of mass market paperbacks to go. Huge. But there they're all different kinds of things. We'll move on to subsection B tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Thank you, Bookcase.